Guys, Paradigm is bored out of her mind. The only way you can save her is to quickly drop a like on the video with your elbow as fast as you can. If you successfully complete this task, you will be mailed a chocolate chip cookie. Look at how happy you made her. She's hitting the default dance. Get 'em, Paradigm. So, some unfortunate news, boys. As I'm sure you've heard by now, the Season 3 launch as well as the device LTM have been delayed again. I figured this was possible, and I even talked about the possibility in my video yesterday. It's nothing short of disappointing and unfortunate, but given what's going on in the world, not surprising in the least. In a recent post from Epic, they say the live event will be delayed until Monday, June 15th, and the Season 3 launch delayed to Wednesday, June 17th. We know this delay comes on the heels of another one, and we appreciate your patience and understanding during these difficult times. This is the third time the season has been delayed, and it comes shortly after their second delay. The first two, you might be wondering, what the heck are you doing, Epic? But with this one, this is definitely understandable and warranted. If you go back and look at the graphs and the charts for the length of time each Fortnite season has lasted, you'll see that they have progressively got longer, and especially in Chapter 2, they have been so long. Chapter 2 Season 1 was 128 days, and with this updated delay, Chapter 2 Season 2 is going to be 118 days, after Chapter 1 averaged about 70 days with each season. So definitely a big increase, and there has not been quite as much content released into the game, so longer seasons with less content, that's definitely not ideal, and I really hope Epic will get back to their ways of updating the game weekly, because that was so much fun. Getting on every week with new items, new POIs, new map changes. That was when Fortnite was at its absolute best, in my opinion, and they need to get right back to it. There are a couple interesting things to note about the updated event time in relation to the new season launch time. Originally, there were going to be 5 days in between the event and the new season. With the new updated time, it's going to be only 2 days between June 15th when the event happens and June 17th when Season 3 drops. Nobody knows for sure what was planned or what is planned for that matter for the event, but it is assumed, and I guess a big theory, that over the course of those 5 days in between the event and the season starting, there would be a buildup of the flood that would kind of gradually happen, whether that's from the device itself, whether that's from some sort of storm, as we've theorized before. But it will be interesting to see how they handle this event and the progression of things, as the event is now much closer to the start of the new season. Now, speaking of the event, about a week ago there was an update to the game which added new internal updates to underneath the agency. And if you go and look in specific areas in replay mode, you can see some of the updates, and this is courtesy of user Kumar over on Reddit. As you can see, there is a new topography under the map. There is also new bubbles forming underneath where that water fountain slash pool is, directly in the middle of the agency on the bottom level. Those bubbles are awfully similar to the kind of bubbles that we have currently bubbling at those hatches, those 5 different hatches that are surrounding the agency. Now, for a while there was also a glitch in which you could utilize a boat and go to a specific area to glitch underneath the agency so players could actually swim around down there. As you can see, it looks like there is a giant pool of water underneath the agency. Now, I don't know if this is intended or if simply they did not think that they needed to add any textures or anything specific under the ground for now, because the event was so far away, and it remains to be seen whether or not new textures and files will even get added to make underneath the agency a real place like we know it's actually there because of Midas's room. But it is definitely interesting to think about, and I would not put it past Epic to make this area accessible to us during the event when it happens. Probably about a week ago, I talked about how there have been so many different Season 4 skins coming back to the item shop, and a lot of those were heroes and villains from the Season 4 hero/villain movie theme, if you'll remember that far back. And of course, there have been many different villain/hero references specifically from Season 4 inside of Chapter 2, Season 2, so there have been a lot of theories about those heroes and villains coming back for the event. Well, in the item shop right now, we have a skin known as Fate, which was introduced in Season 4. Now, I feel like Fate is one of those characters from Season 4 who kind of slipped right under the radar. She's basically the female version of the Omen skin, which I'm sure a lot of you will recognize, and it's theorized that Omen was the person who actually created the villain's base in Season 4 where the original rocket launch event took place. You may also remember this very iconic loading screen of Omen from Season 4, and this orb that he's looking into is almost exactly the same thing as Fate's back bling, so definitely an interesting thing to keep your eye on. I wonder if these Season 4 heroes and villains are going to make a return or play any role in the upcoming The Device event. I got a very interesting theory from Shuriken Plays on Discord, who says, "My theory is that we were stuck in a loop, as the visitor said. They broke the loop by creating the 0 point. We were transported to real life. The Storm King appearing tells us that. We vanquished the Storm King and husks were no more. Midas is a part of the people trying to keep us in the loop. The Doomsday Device is like an artificial 0 point. It will malfunction and create the Great Storm, which should cause the flood. All of the 7 and Singularity traveled here. Singularity traveled through the Mecha Team leader. The 7 came through the rockets. They must stop Midas from creating another loop. Just like the visitor messing with the rocket, they will tamper with the device, ultimately causing the flood." This is really interesting. So there have been some theories saying that Midas could be an actual part of the 7, and then others like this one suggesting that Midas is purely evil, which kind of goes along with some of the other theories we've talked about this season. What if Midas is trying to keep us in the loop and defy the visitor and the 7's plans to break the loop? What if the Doomsday Device is an artificial or remade 0 point to try and get everything back to the way it was before the visitor, at least we think, got us out of the loop? We don't even know if we are still in the loop or not, but regardless, this is a really cool theory to think about, and one that really raises a lot of questions, and man, I wish the event was happening in 2 days so we could try and get some answers sooner. I really wish the event had happened as scheduled in the first place, but here we are with many delays, and we just gotta work with what we got, so we'll find out information about the event soon. At this point, I'm sure almost all of you have seen this leaked image from PlayStation with that island in the background. Now, the number one theory about why that island is there is a reference to this animated short Fortnite made with Jonesy on a deserted island with trees that look very similar, and he's holding a flare gun. Now, on the flare gun box in this short film, you can actually see the date June 11, which was the day that the season was supposed to start after a couple delays, but with this delay, that date is no longer valid. Anyway, a lot of people have been talking on the internet about this flare gun Jonesy is actually using in the short film, and it would be an interesting concept for a weapon, and I found this article from FortniteIntel.com which kind of lays out a concept for this gun should it come to the game. So it says, one of the Season 3 leaks includes a mention of a flare gun, which has a portion of the community guessing as to how it will work. Here's one speculation from Reddit user DeBobby King. So there's the flare gun. It would do 50 damage per shot, and it would do 5 health damage a second until a player jumps into the water, which I think would probably be a pretty cool thing to add. And you might be wondering, wait, Dr. P, what if you're not near water? I don't think that would be a problem in the upcoming season, because as you know, the entire map is supposed to flood, or at the very least fill up with so much more water than is currently in the game, so I bet water would be just about at every turn, and it would make for an interesting gameplay mechanic. Now, they also say this would only have 10 ammo, just like a harpoon gun, and would function very similar to it, which also is a good idea, because this, I don't know if it would be overpowered or not, but you know, you never want to take that risk, especially early in a season. But I guess if it was overpowered, they could just make some fine-tuning adjustments like they typically do to weapons throughout the course of the season. Guys, let me know what you thought of today's video. If it's anything I covered, anything I didn't cover, if you've got a theory, suggestion, idea, I would love to hear it. Hit me up in the comment section down below. Hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter is linked in the description. Also linked in the description are my caffeine.tv live stream, which you should follow, and the link to join my Discord server. Make sure to use code PineapplesYT in the Fortnite item shop to support me. 100% of my profits from the supported creator program go directly back into my streams to give more gifts out to you guys, so your support would be greatly appreciated. I'll catch you in my next upload, and until then guys, take it easy and peace out, my friends.